Right?
Won't ever be forgotten.
My goodness. The Celtics coasted to an easy win against the Bucks yesterday, 107-79, led by Jaylen Brown's 30 points. It was the Bucks' fifth straight loss as trade rumors continue to swirl around the sideline. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Here is Doc Rivers on the possibility of trading Giannis, speaking to our countdown crew yesterday.
Giannis has said everything that we need to hear, that he wants to be a Buck, he loves the city. And that's all I can go by as a coach right now. Has it been difficult? Yeah, your players every day have to hear stuff every single day about not just their best player, but they're thrown in the mix as well. My favorite day of the year this year will be the day after the trade deadline. That'll be my favorite day because I think everyone will be here and we can get to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that.
So Doc Rivers' favorite day of the week will be Friday because that'll be the day after the trade deadline. Brian Windhorst, you were a part of that conversation with Doc. Do you think Giannis will be traded by Thursday?
I think I'm, slightly 50-50, 51-49 that he will not be traded. And it's not because the Bucks aren't having conversations, and it's not because Giannis has an undying desire to be in Milwaukee, although he could be making a lot more noise if he wanted. But it's because with the way the market is, it probably, and I'm going to underline the word probably, makes more sense for the Bucks to wait. There could be a change in the aggression of one of these teams who's bidding. There could be a player that becomes available in the talks that changes Milwaukee's opinion. But I think that there's a good chance that they're going to have the same level of trade offers in the summer, and maybe even better in the summer. And they're going to have way more information in the summer, particularly where their draft pick is, where the draft picks of the other teams making offers are, all of those things. Not only that, some of the teams can offer just more draft picks in the summer than they can now. The important thing that Doc said yesterday, and what I asked him, is what's the plan for Giannis if he's not traded? Because this is as Stephen A. mentioned earlier, this is the fourth calf injury that he has had in the last 2.5 seasons. And that is a concern. And frankly, the Bucks are 3-14 when he doesn't play. And they are highly incentivized to continue losing, quite frankly, because by the time he might come back in 3 or 4 weeks, gosh knows what their record is going to be. And what Doc said is he's going to play. And Doc has to say that for a lot of reasons. But I wonder if we've seen, if Giannis doesn't get traded, I wonder if we've seen the last of him this season either way.
Monica?
Ooh. I mean, Wendy, if he doesn't get traded, it does not benefit either side for him to keep playing, right?
Doesn't.
Absolutely not. I mean, It's easy for me or for you to say, but yes, I believe that.
Yeah. I agree. If the thing to me that is the sticking point, Shay, is by all accounts, Giannis wants to be the good guy, even though he acknowledges it is probably time to move on. If that's the case, then he would wait till the summer when it could probably be the best offer in terms of him getting where he probably wants to be and the Bucks can get the most in return. I don't see this as a Jimmy Butler, I got to move now. I don't see that happening. So
you think it won't happen either until the summer? You don't think it's going to happen by Thursday either? What do you think, S.A.?
Well, you know what it is? I think right now it won't happen. The reason I feel that way is because I think that it would happen if he were healthy and playing and wanted out. But the fact that he's not healthy and he is out, that gives a lot of teams cause to pause because you're going to have to give up a lot in order to get him. Whether it's in the realm of picks or some blue chip players or whatever, you're going to have to give up something to get Giannis. And you want to make sure that he'll be available for you. And so that's the real situation right now. It's two extremes. A Golden State Warriors team in possession of their next 7 first-round picks. You understand? They've got assets to move. The Minnesota Timberwolves, you don't have any first-round picks, okay? But you do have players like Nas Reed, Julius Randle, Jaden Daniels, McDaniels, that kind of stuff like that. So it depends on what Milwaukee wants or whatever. It may take them some time to make that decision, and they may feel they bought themselves some time because you don't have a healthy, disgruntled superstar saying, get me the hell up out of here. Instead, you have a disabled superstar right now who, even if he doesn't get moved, may be sitting at home for the rest of the season so he can afford to sit up there and say, take your time. That's the situation that's going on in Milwaukee right now. So I think I would say it's not impossible, but it's more unlikely than likely that he'll be moved before the trading deadline because there's no urgency right now with him and his calf injuries and the inability to be on the court, because you want to make sure you safeguard him at all costs so you don't find yourself in a position where he gets injured and then you can't do anything with him or for him. You don't want that problem.
Yeah, see the Bucks are the yeah, go ahead, Shay.
Really, Wendy, and maybe you could speak to this, and maybe this is what you were going to say. And yesterday, in listening to Sham's reporting, this was last night, him saying that the Bucks have now countered offers. I'm not saying that there's one set in stone, but they're starting to counter offers, which feels like maybe it's a little further along than we had thought a week ago. Do you agree with that, or you still think that's just going back and forth?
I think that's true, but I think here's the thing. The reason the Bucks have, it'd be one thing, as Stephen A. said, if Giannis was holding the steering wheel here and saying, I want out now, and I want to be on Team X. Trade me to Team X today. He's not doing that. He is taking a generally, not wholly, but generally passive role here in this. So that's one thing. The second thing is, when you look at what the offers are, now, there could be an offer, there probably is an offer that we don't know about that includes a player that Milwaukee has to seriously take, or a pick where Milwaukee's like, we have to do this deal today or we may not be able to do it. But if you look at the teams that are bidding that we know about, if you look at Golden State, their offer in May is going to be the same offer. Now, they may say it's not. They may say it's here and it's gone, but their offer is going to be the same offer. It's not probably going to improve. Whereas the other teams who are in this, their offers can improve. For example, Miami can trade 2 more first-round picks in June than they can today. This is true for several other teams. For example, the Lakers. Right now, you wouldn't put the Lakers in the bidding for Giannis, okay? But if you get to the summer and they've got $100 million in cap space, and instead of trading 1 first-round pick, they can trade 3, now we have a completely different situation. Not only that, but by then we'll know the lottery. We'll know the players that are in the lottery. The Bucks will know where their pick is. The Bucks will know where everybody else's pick is. So if the offers are probably not going to worsen by the spring, and the offers are only going to get better, and you may have more information, and you're not, Giannis is hurt anyway, and he's not agitating at full power, you do not have to be a next-level logician or analyst to figure out that waiting makes sense, unless the Bucks get an offer by Thursday.
All right, Dub Nation, let's talk about the one rumor that is shaking the entire NBA landscape right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Golden State Warriors. Because at this point, this is no longer just internet noise or fan fiction. This is real front office chatter, real league sources, real analysts saying the Warriors are actually on the phone, actually making calls, and actually willing to push all their chips to the center of the table. And the first thing that hits me is this. If this happens, the NBA changes overnight. Think about what this represents historically. Giannis is not just another superstar. He's a 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, champion, a physical force that the league has not seen since prime Shaq mixed with a modern-day point forward. He's one of those rare players that bends the geometry of basketball. Defenses don't just guard Giannis, they collapse around him. Entire game plans exist just to survive him. And now imagine that level of gravity paired with the greatest shooter who has ever lived. Because that's the real part that makes this terrifying for the rest of the league, Steph Curry. At 37, Steph is still putting up elite numbers, still warping defenses, still demanding 2 defenders 30 feet from the basket. The man does not need athleticism to dominate. His game ages better than almost anyone in NBA history. And when you combine that with Giannis, you are talking about the most impossible pick-and-roll and off-ball action ever created. You cannot trap Steph because Giannis will destroy you in space. You cannot build a wall on Giannis because Steph will punish you from deep. There is literally no defensive solution that exists on a whiteboard for that combo. This is why so many analysts are calling it illegal or unfair or breaking the league, because it feels like one of those moves that shouldn't even be allowed under competitive balance logic. It's like when Kevin Durant joined the Warriors, but somehow even more destructive from a matchup standpoint. At least with KD, you could still try to outscore them. With Giannis, you might not even get past half court. But here's where it gets even deeper and more emotional from the Warriors' side. This isn't just about winning another title. This is about legacy. This is about the final chapter of the Steph Curry era. The Warriors know the clock is ticking. They've tried retooling, developing, staying competitive without blowing everything up, and it's been respectable, but it hasn't been championship level. And when you have a generational icon like Steph, you reach a moment where you have to ask yourself one brutal question. Do we protect the future, or do we maximize the present? Giannis is the answer if you choose the present. Because this would be the ultimate all-in move. Draft picks? Gone. Young players? Gone. Financial flexibility? Gone. This is basically the Warriors saying, we don't care about 2028, 2030, or anything beyond Steph's prime. We are here to win now, and whatever happens after that, we'll deal with later. And that's why this move is so controversial, because it's not just genius, it's dangerous. If it works, the Warriors become instant title favorites and possibly the most hated team in the league again. The villains return. The boos in every arena. The NBA is rigged narratives. The same energy as the KD years, but even louder. But if it fails, if Giannis's body breaks down, if chemistry doesn't click, if injuries pile up, then the Warriors could be staring at a decade of irrelevance with no picks and no safety net. That's the nuclear part of this rumor. There is no middle ground. This is either a dynasty revival or a historic collapse. And from Giannis's perspective, this is just as fascinating because he spent his entire career being the guy, the face of a franchise, the leader, the one carrying everything on his shoulders. Going to Golden State would be the first time in his life where he is not the sole gravitational center of a team. He wouldn't have to be the closer every night. He wouldn't have to create every advantage. He could just be the most terrifying finisher in basketball history, playing next to the best spacing environment imaginable. This might actually extend his career. Less wear and tear, fewer double teams, fewer forced possessions. He could dominate without destroying his body. And that's something people aren't talking about enough. This isn't just good for the Warriors. It might be perfect for Giannis long term. Now, let's talk about the league reaction if this goes through. The Western Conference would be officially on life support. Denver, OKC, Minnesota, Lakers, Clippers, all of them would instantly become underdogs, not because they're bad teams, but because the margin for error against a Steph-Giannis core is basically zero. You'd have to play perfect basketball for 4 straight games just to have a chance. One bad quarter and the series is over. And that's why the NBA world feels tense right now, because everyone knows this is one of those crossroads moments, the kind of move that reshapes rivalries, narratives, media coverage, and even future superstar decisions. If Giannis goes to Golden State and wins another ring, it completely rewrites his legacy. He goes from Milwaukee hero to NBA super team architect. And if Steph wins another title with Giannis, his GOAT conversation shifts again. Not just greatest shooter, but one of the most successful franchise leaders in sports history. So when people say this rumor feels dangerous, they're not exaggerating. This is dangerous for the league's balance, dangerous for other contenders' windows, dangerous for fan bases that have been patiently building hope, and dangerous for Golden State itself, because once you make this move, there is no undo button. This is the kind of trade that doesn't just change standings, it changes history.